Welcome to the second part of the Billy Hopeless interview. We got cut off, unfortunately, the last time, but enjoy and like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, like I grew up in a neighborhood with Teenage Head living down the street from us. Are you familiar with Teenage Head?
Oh, of course I am.
And
Yeah.
and Mickey and the Forgotten Rebels lived like a couple of blocks over, right?
Well, great guy, too.
Oh, Mickey's great. He's like the godfather of Hamilton punk scene.
His solo album was amazing.
I like
Well,
the Criminal Zero album that came out in the '93. To be honest
Yeah.
with you,
yeah. Have you heard Mickey's solo album?
no, I
So,
have not. But on
the
that
great,
note,
like I say, lyrics, there's great lyrics there. I remember sharing needles as we listened to the Beatles. And the fact that I still remember that now, I'm like, I still remember the melody. As I say, a good song. It's like if I'm playing it, I can hear it in my head.
so now you're in a punk band. Now we come to the Black Halos, and you guys had
Yeah.
some success with some. You guys have a song on a video game, an Xbox game, correct?
We had two songs on Xbox. We've had our stuff's been used all over. Was it? I forget what show it was. There's a couple shows on that were on MTV. Everyone stole our stuff. It's great. It's like, yeah, it's Hillary Duff's sister or something had a show in that. We remember we were on tour and we're in the hotel room and we're flipping channels. What's this? And then we wait a second. That's us. And she's trashing her room and we're playing. And I'm like, how much did we get for that? Nothing.
It's funny. My last week we interviewed my buddy Daryl, and he's a drummer for Bon Zamara. I'm not too sure if you're
Yeah.
familiar with them,
I'm not.
but they they always post when somebody's wearing a T-shirt or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's nice to see the love, but you want to see the reward for that as well, right? Like,
You know what? Honestly, I'm just happy that anyone uses our stuff for anything or that anyone supports us in any way because I'm amazed by it at times. I'm like, really? Wow, that's kind of cool. Like, it's when there's been a lot of glory moments when Playboy gave one of our albums, a great review in Playboy. I was like, wow, we're in Playboy. That's insane. That's I feel really lucky.
well, one of our things that we're trying to do here, my son and I, is to bring back that record store feeling in a podcast if we can, right? So again, as we talked earlier through the week getting ready for this, you turned me on to a lot of stuff that I went back, listened to. Some of it I thought was absolutely great. So we asked you the last 5 records you've been listening to,
Yeah.
and you mentioned Al Nolan of the 22s, correct?
Al Nolan from Trigger Happy.
This is the different Al Nolan?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know him from Trigger Happy. Trigger.
Okay, Spotify says that's him, so big
Maybe
mistake there. So
maybe it's a piece of history that you're turning me on to. I don't know.
I thought it was pretty great. It was like skate punk.
Actually, I just know Al Nolan as the guy who runs a record label and is taking me out for Chinese food if I ever get back to Ontario to record our new album. No, actually, Al Nolan, yeah, what a talent. What a great guy. He's super talented. I love it.
Okay. Are you guys in Ontario much?
Yeah, well, all the rest of the band are in Ontario. All the other guys are now in Ontario and living in lockdown city. But I get there, I'm going to come back there to record this album if you guys ever get it together and stop this COVID rate, the rates you guys got. Then I'm going to get out there and record this album. And yeah, we play shows there. We've always played shows there. But now with them all there, hey, Uptown's got to come downtown.
Right.
That's east.
Hey, I'm with you.
I like coming to Ontario. You guys got Taco Bells and Popeyes all over the place.
I haven't been there in 3 years, Billy. I've been stuck here in Grand Prairie, so.
Yeah.
And I miss it. There's a lot of bands. Trash Gallery was a band I used to love going to see. I don't know if you know them. And
No, I don't know. I don't know. Probably.
Rebel Few was another good band that's from, I think they're from the Scarborough area. I'm not too sure, but I've seen them a few times.
Yeah.
Great band, kind of a Pantera type sound to them. But enough about me and my likes. Let's go back. So the last couple of things you've been listening to are?
What did I say here? You've got to remember now. Backstreet Liberace. It's just a killer song. Well, it's got Dragon on it and Nick from the Helicopters. And yeah, just young new band with the song Velvet Liberace. I just saw a video on it, so well, good, and it's been stuck in my head. This band Velvet Insane, they're great. It's great, you know. He's really hit it, and the song's got the hook. It's it's got a killer hook. It's just great rock and roll, and you know you don't go wrong. Nick from the Helicopters, he can sure write a hook, guitar hook, right? Same with Dragon, Backyard Babies. Those two together in a band, I don't care who you are, you'd probably put them with Crazy Town, and Crazy Town would have a really cool rock song. That's how rockin' they are.
Okay, and after that we get, what do we have next here, buddy? Oh, SNFU.
Yeah, okay.
Edmonton band?
Yeah, and me and Chai, we had a really long, tight friendship. Rest in peace. And yeah, one thing about Chai and me, we'd stay up late a lot of nights just talking about music and talking about lyrics. And I always say it's like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee sitting together talking about their martial arts. Yeah, we'd just be like sitting under that apple tree talking about music and just about lyrics and about our thoughts and our influences. And Chai, one of the great writers, I gotta say, lyricist, just incredible. He could come up with stuff just off the spur that would just make me go, wow, you raised the bar. Now I got to jump higher than that. And yeah, could that kid jump? Anyone who saw SNFU live back in the early days knows Chai could jump. Well, he also could jump lyric-wise. He could make that high bar go so high lyrically that I'd be like, why? Why can I not write like you? And he'd be like, love this lyric by you. This is such an incredible lyric. Back at me. And yeah. And anyways, this new stuff that was released, it was stuff that from the In the Meantime and In Between Time album. And I guess these, what they're saying, were outtakes that Mark Belkey recorded with a bunch of other guys and basically used Chai's vocal recordings, demo recordings, and put them down. These songs should have been on the album. These songs are incredible. It's a song Bingo on it, or Suddenly. It's called Suddenly. The chorus is Bingo. And I always, same thing, lyrics, I'm like, using BINGO as a chorus, I'm like, genius, Chai. And the way he relates to religion and life, but everyone's waiting for that bingo. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Genius. And yeah, so this new stuff that was put out by Muck, it's incredible. I gotta say, it's some of the best stuff Chai ever did, in my opinion. And yeah, I can't stop listening to it because once again, it makes me jump higher.
Again, I think a huge loss to the Canadian punk music scene, and not just the Canadian punk music scene, just a great loss to punk music.
Oh, worldwide loved and admired. We had a guy, Dutch, who was our tour driver, and when we were touring Europe one time, and he looked at me and we're sitting up front, and he's like, everyone's playing normal sort of stuff and rock stuff and all, and he looks at me and goes, what's in your CD collection? And I pulled out SNFU and put it on, and Dutch's like, oh my God, this is my favorite band of all time. And instantly we had this huge bond. Suddenly it was like the hugest bond, me and him. And he's like, because I liked SNFU. And then that he finally found out I knew that me and Chai were friends. He's like, was all over it. Just like, oh, Chai Pig, I drove them, one of my favorite people. Now you're one of my favorite people. Like you on the music, you know, the brotherhood.
That's what it's all about, man.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's what it really is. How many people did you meet at a record store because you're looking at something and going, and they're looking at the same section of music you are, and you look and go, wow, they're like me.
I went, a few years ago, my son and I did a road trip. We went down to Moline, Illinois to see Motley Crue and the Dolls.
Yeah.
And me and him were talking to somebody at that show, and we still talk to them on Facebook today. We have gone all over North America to see concerts, and it's a great thing of the people you meet along the way.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a huge music is a huge force of uniting people. It's art. Same with art. Like saying Chai, not only as a musician and a lyricist and a performer, but an artist, an incredible artist. Art. Chai's had on that In the Meantime and In Between Time album. There's a song, I think fine art's fine. And that's, that's it. Music is, Chai always felt like an outsider too. So, now it's it. How we got together was music. Like say with Devo and punk rock. That's how we got together. So yeah, it's really, but anyways, I'm saying this album completely, everyone should buy it if you want. It's a bit pricey, but as I think Chai would really, what I did was I illegally got a copy burned on CD. And I think Chai would love that. I think Chai honestly, through this whole thing, Chai would be like, yeah, it's an illegal bootleg copy. Awesome. So illegally
What's
download.
more punk rock than that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I totally salute it.
So next up we have...
Okay, this album, it's just, what can I say on this anyways, too? Like, this is off Cursed Blessings. I'm wearing the shirt right now, which is the way of putting out our new EP. And Al Nolan, who runs it, his taste in music is amazing. He's like, for metal and punk, he knows what he's doing. It's metal, it's punk. And yeah, he's putting out some great stuff. This Seized Up album, just amazing. Pure, great hardcore. Can't say enough about it. It's just, you went right from the start. You know what you're getting in. And it hits hard. It's a good wake up, like your coffee in the morning. This is extra rich. This is what you want. This is going to wake you up and get you going.
So, just again for our listeners, you guys got a new EP coming out.
Yeah.
The single's Uncommonwealth.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with Doug Smart, one of your...
Yeah, Smart.
And I'm trying to make arrangements to get 10 copies. We're hoping you guys can do us a favor of signing those. And if anybody wants one, all you got to do is like, share, and subscribe, and I'll send you one of those as a...
No, they got to
thank you.
Can we do a skill testing thing here?
We can. You're the guest. Your record, you tell us.
You're going to subscribe, do it you've been told here, but we got a secret word as well, okay? You got to email in the secret word, and the secret word is brochure. Now, let me use it in a sentence so you understand, and bring in my partner here, Eric, to help me demonstrate the secret word, brochure. Come here, Eric. Come here. Okay, everyone, this is Eric. Okay, ready?
Eric, man, how's it going?
Great.
Here we go. Hey, bro, would you like a pamphlet?
Brochure.
There you go.
Okay. Cool. Okay, then that's what we're going to do, guys. You heard Billy?
Brochure.
Nice. So, let's get back. We got a couple more albums to go through. And your next record was...
What can you say about the Jam? As I say about... what can I say, Anyways, all the mod cons, this album, I mean, what can you say about lyrics? Song lyrics, as I say, how being a writer, punk rock isn't just about going, what rhymes with fuck? There's a lot more to it. And lyrical writing, the Jam, just about everything they've done, I can honestly say, I can put on a Jam record, and once again, I'm inspired. They're just amazing. And this album, Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, come on. How do you write that?
So, and now we go to your last album. I listened to this single here that you suggested, and I was blown away. And it was so different from everything else you suggested.
Well, that's it,
And that's this album here.
It is Sunday morning, and so this is completely Sunday afternoon now. But anyways, Sunday Morning is a band from here in Vancouver. You got just incredible writing here. Bruce is from Tank Hog, singer, lyricist. used to be in the band Tank Hog, great Canadian punk rock and roll band. And this stuff is so different than anything, but so good. It's almost, the Halos, we got a lot of Britpop in us. Honestly, me and Rich listen to a lot of like Suede and Mannix and a lot of Britpop bands. And this has a bit of that to it in a way to me. It's got a bit of that British 90s Britpop sound, but updated, a bit of Velvet Underground maybe.
I was just about to say that to you.
Yeah, it's got Velvet Underground in there. And, you know, once again, influential bands in my writing, I'd say, yeah, the Velvets, I listen to the Velvets a whole lot. And I bow once again.
You know,
This stuff, Sunday Morning, everyone should. The first album they put out, which is just called Sunday Morning, I've still played the death out of that. I've got it on vinyl. This stuff, I don't think it's been put out on vinyl yet, to my knowledge. If it has, Bruce, and you're watching this, copy now, please, because this single that they put out here is just incredible. It's another of those things I can just listen to over and over again and embrace it, let it flow through, and it really hits me. I bow to Bruce, out of the band. Incredible talent.
When I put it on, I listened to it on Spotify. The first thing that came to mind, it was like a new Velvet Underground.
Yeah, it should be all over. I don't get, like, you know, CBC used to have a show, Brave New Waves, and CBC, they always say how groundbreaking they are and stuff. And I'm like, why aren't you playing this? Why aren't people playing this stuff? This stuff, it's incredible. You know, you say you're into art, and that your radio station is into alternative art, and it's like, well, then you should definitely be playing this.
Right.
It's a masterpiece.
Just from the cover art, you're like, oh, that's very like Velvet Underground, very.
You know what you get is, it's got, like, say, Suede, the band, the London Suede, and yeah, much like the Velvets. A friend of mine, a guitar player, friend of mine, Chris Walsh, that was in a band of Bonitos for me for a while, once said, listening to Suede's like taking pills, but not having to take them. It's just like, when you listen to them, you just feel like you're on pills. And this kind of has that too, to me. It's like, yeah, I'm happily medicated listening to this music. It's very medicinal music, for sure.
So, you know, now we go back to you, and we go back to the Black Halos. How does this affect your writing? Where is your influences coming from?
My influences come from all over, and it's that thing where, you know, if you're going to be, as a writer, you don't want to just listen to the same thing you're doing, because then you're just going to end up, your influences will just be that. You write the same thing everyone else already written. You want to absorb all kinds of stuff. And so, yeah, my influences come all over, and as well as just the street working, and I work in social housing here in the downtown east side of Vancouver, the beautiful downtown, sunny downtown east side. And influences come from the street, but also musically from all over the place. I'll hear stuff and go, oh, that's really cool. That's really, as I said, my dad would jazz and blues, and he'd play all kinds of stuff. My dad's all over the place. And yeah, my record collection's like that. But you don't want just, I love good punk rock, I love good metal, but you don't want to listen to that always, because, yeah, you just end up doing that thing that's been done. You know, you don't want to eat the same thing all the time.
Well, I think that's where a lot of people, at least as a kid, I did, and my friends did. You always thought, like, Metallica was just sitting around listening to thrash metal.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, Metallica was listening to themselves, Megadeth, you know, and then you realize that, no, they can't. They have to listen to other things if they're going to grow and change.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Lemmy Motorhead's favorite music was Enya.
Well, that's...
Enya. Oh, he'd listen to Enya, and he'd go off about Enya and how brilliant Enya was, and he'd say, oh, I played all stuff on the stage, you know, but when I'm off stage, I don't want to listen to that. I listen to Enya, brilliant. And that's, you know...
Well, again, that's where, like, the interest for the podcast is, because you listen to a Garth Brooks who says, my first album was Kiss.
Yeah.
Or you hear Lemmy saying, you know, I love Little Richard.
Yeah.
I don't hear Little Richard. But when you listen to Motorhead, you kind of get a little bit of the bass, the little bit of that bluesy stuff in there. You just got to wait and be patient, right?
I love Little Richard because Little Richard explained bop, and that the term bop is basically sex. And so when Hanson was singing, and there was the term used in old rock and roll for sex. So when Hanson was saying bop, they knew what they were talking about. And I love Little Richard. Little Richard's a genius.
You know?
He is an architect.
So you guys got 3 albums out right now?
Let me count here. Okay, we got first self-titled. No, we got four at the moment, and a whole ton of 7 inches.
Okay, well,
It'll be number 5 coming up if Ontario gets it together.
well,
We wrote a new album, and it's been, I think, about 2 or 3 years probably now since that we've been on that album going, all right, getting it ready, and then bam, we played 2 shows, sold out shows in Vancouver, and COVID hits. 1 show in Toronto, 2 shows in Vancouver, COVID hits. We've got the album finally finished, we're ready, COVID hits, and what do? Right?
and how's the, you know, it sounds sad we have to ask this, but through the quarantine, through all this, how's everybody's mental health been? Everybody's doing
I
okay?
think they're drinking a lot, including myself. That would be it pretty much, I think, especially over there. I see Jay, our guitarist Jay Millett's post, and he's like, will post pictures of like empty patios in Ontario and be like, how I miss you. Laughing, going, oh, poor Jay. Poor. Yes, drink at home.
Well,
Poor.
well, that's good.
Kind of like a lonely guy. You can just picture like cardboard cutouts around him going up like, hey, how's it going? Good party? Yeah.
For me, I've just been sitting at home playing vinyl, right? And then getting bored because you listen to the same 10 things.
Yeah, well, that's it. Don't get bored. Explore.
That's right.
Try something different. Take a chance on a brand new dance, like Devo said. You know, always listen. That's why radio is important too. Like internet radio, I love internet radio because you get to hear people play stuff that they like, and the mainstream isn't really playing a lot of times. And you get turned on to new sounds, which is like going to the old record store etiquette of, hey, you ever heard this? Well, you get that. Where underground radio is great. I'm 100% behind it. I've learned about so many bands just listening to really cool internet radio shows.
So I realize there's a lot of bands, not just the Black Halos. There's a lot of bands that are touring bands. That's where they make their living, having to work a part-time job, whatever it is to make ends meet. And for the last year and a half, there's no extra money from touring. Not that there's ever a lot of it, right?
Not those T-shirts.
Yeah.
Val from the band Electric Frankenstein said, I write music to sell T-shirts. I was like, yeah, that's it.
Well, the Ramones proved that theory works, right? Like, that's where most of their income came from, was the extra stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really know.
The great thing about vinyl is that a lot of the vinyl's back in. It's come back in because with vinyl you get the extras. People put like the Kiss tattoos, and Curse Blessing keeps doing these packages and stuff. But we've always sort of thrived for that. Our Violent Years album had the giant booklet, which is like a huge booklet that came with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you get limited edition, colored, numbered, signed, scratch and sniff. Vinyl's amazing. It's like it really puts the fun back in music, and
It is.
I like putting a record on. I like slip mats. I like everything about it. Putting a record on, it's that physical touch versus downloaded music. Like listening to music on my phone is kind of cool, but it's not like when you have that physical thing and you put it down and you put the record on and spin a record. And Tom Waits said that even CDs, he likes CDs, because when you put them into the CD player, it's like it's hungry and it's eating CD, and it's like looking like, come on, put another one in. And it's that physical touch, you know?
Okay.
It's so important. The physical side of records this is part of the magic.
Look,
the smell, I get weird, the smell, right? When you open up a record, like the smell of the toxic smell of vinyl.
It's like going into an old bookstore or a used record store. There's just something about it. And you were talking about that, and you know, yesterday evening, while going over the notes for today's interview, I went from listening to the Downchild's Blues Band to Death Sentence, into the Beatles, into SNFU actually. So
all over, right? And that's
right.
But that should be a focus board.
Right. So you guys, again, a band makes a couple of cents off downloading something from Spotify, but you guys are hungry. Well, I'm told, right? Like that's what my $10 a month does, right? But if somebody wants your back catalog and on vinyl, is there a place to find it? Like, how does somebody help you guys survive and put out this album?
Like that's, you know, the Sub Pop records go for quite a bit now. They're pretty hard to find. They pop up every now and then somewhere, and then I usually scoop them up. But yeah, they're like Violent Years. Violent Years, the first album. The original copies are really hard to find. They're both re-released on a label, People Like You, out of Germany, with a bunch of bonus tracks. I think even those are going pretty hefty now. Our third album, Live Without Control, was on Century Media. Whenever a label drops, usually they won't carry on your library. They're like, yeah, they're gone. They took the money and ran out of there. And and then the fourth album on History. I think that one's History too. Yeah, you'll find them on like Discogs or eBay every now and then, so you'll pop up. But I don't see them that often, which is pretty amazing. There's a copy of, I think, Violent Years going for what is like $500 in Japan right now on eBay, and I was like, really? Sure. But hey. Kind of cool.
Okay. We're going to
get you.
Well, we are. We're going to put description, all your links in our description.
Yeah.
So that any listeners can come find you, check you out.
We do have a Bandcamp page. And we have all our merch, T-shirts and stuff. We're on Threadless. And we have a Bandcamp page, Black Hills Bandcamp. How many other bands are signed to Bandcamp? Yeah, I was here for Bandcamp, best label in the world.
Well, they got a pretty solid site, though, right? There's a lot of new music on there.
Huge roster. Yeah, no, Bandcamp's good because, you know, as I say, like the Spotify thing and a lot of the digital, how little they're paying bands, and you know, people got really down with, remember Napster, and they was like, no, I totally support Napster. Lars Ulrich is dumb. Napster's awesome. And all musicians were doing that. And then you had Chuck D and some that were going, no, down with Napster. They're pickpocketing me. You want to pickpocket Chuck D? And, you know, everyone was like, no, yeah, Napster. And now it's like with Spotify, and you hear bands going, Spotify, do we make anything? No. Well, I thought they're paying us pennies a glass for this Kool-Aid. No. Haven't seen anything of it. And so maybe Lars was right. You know?
I think Lars was right. He was just not big enough to take it on.
Buy records, buy stuff off Bandcamp, support things like that. Otherwise, illegally download it, put it on a cassette.
8-track.
Yeah, hold your cassette player up to the radio and record music like that, because that's really old school.
I remember that.
And you hold it up to your radio, going transistor radio, going, okay, click. Oh, got it, click.
And go like this to tell your buddy not to talk while you're doing it.
Exactly. That's where you're really old school, kid. Get into reel to reels. Reel to reels, man. That's where it's at.
You know what? I got some of that in my collection. I got some of the old Columbia House reel-to-reel for Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath.
Yeah, see, that's where you're really, really cool, man. That's awesome. I walk around with my reel-to-reel player on my shoulder. Yeah.
I
Sit in
house.
a coffee shop, get my matcha coffee with my reel-to-reel playing.
Well, you see, I house about 2,000 records here, about 500
Yeah.
singles in my
Awesome.
place here. And then back home, I have a 10 by 10 storage unit filled floor to ceiling with records and my son's guitars. So,
Wow.
yeah.
When do I get? So when I come to Grand Prairie, I get to come over and pick through that stuff, right?
Well, if you want to listen, the dog's
no.
not letting you out with a record. I can tell you that.
What's your prize record in your collection?
I have a lot. I have and I have autographed records too. So it's hard. On the autograph side, I have a signed Van Halen album.
Nice.
And I have a signed Rush album by all three.
Awesome.
Right? For the collector's side, I have 2 unopened Death Sentence albums.
Which ones? Both
The
of them?
first two. The first two.
Nice. Yeah. Those are the only two. Yeah.
Keith Moon solo album.
Nice.
A whole lot of Kiss with all the original stuff in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's bands like Smash Gladdy that I found.
Yeah.
That again, I bought it by the cover, put it on, and just gave it an honest listen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's some pretty good music. It really is.
Yeah, like Accept. There's a band. Remember Accept, Restless and Wild, the first time you heard that? First time I think you really heard Super
Wrath of
Double.
a Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot, Billy. If you're ever in Grand Prairie, we'll grab a bottle of whiskey. You can come over to the house, and I'll let you go through. You'll find original Dead Kennedys stuff. You'll find the Ink Spots and Blues Brothers to... It's all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I like, man. That's what...
You'll find NWA, Public Enemy, original pressings.
Good music is good music, man.
That's right. So
like this, at Curse Blessings Records using the bonsai design, Bonsai Records.
Yes.
You know, Bonsai, Canadian label, put out some of the metal, like thrash metal, and how many greats like Slayer and stuff. First time in Canada.
Voivod, didn't they do Voivod as well?
Yeah, that Bonsai with this side, that side. Everyone remembers that. He bought the record, this side, that side. Metal Blade Bonsai, groundbreaking. Love a good label.
The other band I have you may appreciate is Dayglow.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Many times in my favorite punk shows would have been Dayglow and Death Sentence, New York Theater.
I've never seen Death Sentence. I've seen Dayglow a couple of times back at home.
I can tell you about Pete. Yeah, no. They were great.
Yeah. So anything else you got going on? If guys want a shirt, check out their website. But what do you got? Anything else you want to say, Bill?
We got some stuff I can't even talk about. There's lots going on. We got lots going on. We're always up to something. Even though, like as I say, everyone in lockdown and stuff, that just gives us more time to work on our evil plans. Basically, and more time to create evil. So, we're bored. When you're bored, you're going to do something, usually something kind of destructive or creative and destructive, the art of destruction, right? That's pretty much it. So, yeah, we're busy. We've got some stuff coming up. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. Like I say, in this new album, if it gets out, incredible. But this right now, it's time for this 3-song EP. And yeah, I love it. I'm happy. And if I'm happy, that really means a lot because Billy's pretty judgmental on his own music. He talks in third person when he says it.
Well, the hardest person to ever like is yourself or anything you do.
Oh, yeah. I don't really like listening to my own music a lot. Honestly, I don't really listen to stuff that often, our own stuff, because we play it all the time. But I've been playing the crap out of this stuff, these 3 songs, going, yeah, I love that.
as we started earlier, I said I don't think there's no such thing as bad music. There's just some better than others. Meaning because I don't play anything. Look, I can play any song you want if I owned it on vinyl. That's as far as my musical talent goes.
Yeah.
So, and I think it takes a great courage to write something and then to share it. Not just to a friend or a confidant, to share it to mass public. Right?
You are your own judge. And Jack and Dino, who records all his stuff, he's like, I'd say he's the sixth Halo, and everyone knows he did Nirvana and Pearl Jam and all that stuff, Bruce Dickinson solo album, but Jack's done tons of bands. Jack always says whenever I go and record vocals, Jack always will look and just be in the sound booth and through headphones and going, can you live with that? And I always think about that anything you record, it's immortal, it's immortality, it's immortalized. It's there for life. It's like your tattoo. You choose a tattoo and you get it done. It better be good because it's there. You can't cover up on a record, do a cover up after it's out. So yeah, I think it's kind of hard. You always want to make sure. And that's what I say with bad music, there is bad music. So I've written some bad music and me and Rich will sit and just be like, no, throw that one away. Throw it away, get rid of it. It's out of here. And you write a lot of songs, but you got to throw away the bad ones. You got to cherry pick, right? Because as you said, I'm with Wizard of Oz, and I'd say Diary too. You put those albums on, there's no bad songs. And that's what you want. You don't want to go back and listen to an album and go, man, why did we do that song? That song's not that great. Why did we put that on there? Oh man, we stuck it away. And a lot of bands don't realize, I think, they think everything that they do is gold. They think like, well, if I take a crap, it's beautiful. What a beautiful turd. And it's like, no, you know what? It's crap. Get rid of it.
That's how we got The Elder.
Yeah.
Right?
But you got to say Darklight, because Ace Frehley, still, it's not Ace's best stuff, but hey, it's Ace Frehley, and Ace Frehley's better than me.
Hey, The Elder's a good album, but there's just better Kiss albums to listen to.
Well, Lou Reed helped write that album, right?
Yeah.
Lou Reed helped with The Elder, and that explains a lot. Like, come on, let's get Lou Reed to help write a Kiss album. And no, it's not what, I think Lou Reed had just done Berlin at that time too. And, as I say, you put on Berlin, get ready to cut your wrist.
Well, and again, you got Bob Ezrin, who had just got done working with Pink Floyd.
Yeah. So let's make a piece of art, Kiss. And it's like, yeah, let's make this artistic journey and epic. Yeah, no. didn't quite bring in Vinnie Vincent. Let's get to that next.
Bill, I could talk to you all day about music, but I know there's things you have to do.
I love it.
So if somebody wants to follow along Instagram, Facebook, how do they get a hold of Black Halos?
Facebook, all that anti-social media, we're all over it. Bandcamp page. Yeah, word on the street. Kids in the schoolyard, And
I got to be honest with you. You have given me, the past week since we've been chatting back and forth, some of the best suggestions of music. It's been a while somebody's challenged me.
That's what it's about. It's about music, art. It's about that. It's about exploring, but it's also about introducing each other to other things. Right. Because before the interweb, that was it.
Right.
Basically, it. A lot of people don't remember or realize that the way you found out about music was zines, and where'd you get the zine? It was either from mail order. Where did you first find out about it? Was from someone else who had a zine. And yeah, you'd go to the record store and they'd be people would put out Metal Entertainment around Toronto, and free magazines. I write for a free newspaper, Absolute Underground. And it's kind of because of that you'd go to the record store and be like, oh, here's something free, a free periodical. Let's see what's in this paper. And you'd sit and look at it and go, and there'd be ads for bands and labels and interviews with bands. And you'd go, wow, these guys these guys look cool and they sound kind of cool. I think I'll buy that. Another way was word of mouth. You'd go to someone's house and they'd be like, hey man, you ever heard this record? This is Butthole Surfers. And you'd go, whoa, I never heard anything like this. I don't think it's just the pot we smoked. I think this album is just, man, this is cool. Where did you find this Butthole Surfers music that you are playing for me? And you'd go to the record store. I remember, Def Leppard, their first stuff. This kid that was in high school with me was like, once again, Brit influence. He would go to the store, Odyssey Imports record store, and he introduced me to that store. And he was like, yeah, listen to this. This is new band, Def Leppard. And they're going to be huge. I think they're going to be really huge. And I remember listening to Def Leppard's first album going, wow, look at these guys. They're really young and they're like us. They're really young. And wow, this is great rock and roll. Where did you get this? And he's like, Odyssey Imports. And I went there and I was like, they sell Iron Maiden and Ozzy t-shirts. No one had those. We didn't have you couldn't go to Walmart and buy an Iron Maiden shirt. It's like, wow, they got Ozzy shirts. I got mine from the concert, but they got all these different Ozzy shirts and records. And I was like, yeah, gold mine. And the same thing. And there I found out about bands at Odyssey. They carried all kinds of weird import records. I found out about Big Black through there. Songs about fucking. They had that in the window, and I just saw the cover. Big Black songs about fucking. Yeah, I'm buying that. I don't know what. I'm getting that. That is mine. I need that album. Yeah, so many. Slayer, that was I think Slayer and Anthrax. The first place I found out about that stuff, I was like, same thing. Like Iron Maiden Killers. Like, look at that album. What's that? Gotta have that. Pop Will Eat Itself, I got in through them. I got in Pop Will Eat Itself, Zig Zig Sputnik, all kinds of stuff. Just going to that stories and going, yeah, what's this? And that music that being that a kid who was into punk and rock and metal, you see something like that, you'd be like, industrial, what is this? Yeah, this is cool. I like it. It's kind of like Devo, but heavier. I like this.
Well, Billy, what you're telling me is when this lockdown is up, I got to head out to Vancouver and start buying records out there. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Stores right now here. We've got some really, really cool record stores. That's the thing. Like Sunrise in the Mall, it's kind of cool. It's kind of got that HMB thing, but I find this selection of records ain't that great, right? I went in. You got any Cramps records? And the guy just like, no, we don't have any Cramps records. We got tons of DVD box sets.
I feel sorry because I'll go in there and, I like them for new releases, right? You want a new release, they have it. I really like going down to Edmonton. There's a place called Collector's Paradise. I really like going for the used stuff. But the kids come over to me like, they're all knowledgeable. Well, and I just go to my phone and I pull out. I said, "Do you have this many records?" They're like, "No, I'll just leave you alone, man."
They kind of like the Walmart thing. They all got the greatest hits. Really, Walmart gets actually getting some stuff like reissued Kiss albums and stuff, but they always have well, we got the greatest hits album, and you're like, no, I don't want the greatest hits album by this band. I want an album. They're like, oh, well, we don't carry that. Or the latest, they'll have the newest one, like AC/DC Power Up. You're like, no, I want Power Rich. I want Down Payment Please. Bon Scott. Get me that. Do you have that? No, why don't you have it? Well, we don't have enough room to carry everything, man. Yeah, but you got box sets and DVDs. Does anyone really buy those anymore?
Well,
come on.
Is that the point?
You want a overrated T-shirt? You don't have to go to Hot Topic. You can go to the record store there and buy it.
Well, it's funny. I go into Sunrise now, and the two full-time kids there, they know my name. So I walk in, and they're like, "Hey, Dave," and then they come to me with their record collection. They're like, "Hey, Dave, I just bought this used. What do you think?" They now come to me for advice. It's not I'm going to them.
And then they put it in the used at a high price, going, Dave says it's worth a lot.
No, ours doesn't sell used. We have a really, it's Grand
Oh,
Prairie, man.
Ours does. Ours sells used. I wouldn't sell used record. You'll
So,
see. Oh, someone did that. It's like Paul McCartney and Wings, $40, and you're like, yeah, right. Yeah. Beatles and Mars, $40. I don't think so.
the Beatles' White Album, all covered in water stains, $80. Yeah, I know.
Come on.
You're like, this isn't even the $80 one. The one that has, the spelling area, spelling
Yeah.
error is. So, Bill, we're going to let you go.
All right.
I want to thank you for your time. Guys, all our listeners, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, go on the links, listen, sample the Black Halos, see what you think. And if you like them, go to Bandcamp, support them, help them grow.
Hunt for the vinyl. Come on, that's what it's all about too. Buying records, it's all about trying to find that thing, that Ark of the Covenant. Go out and try and find vinyl. Like they say, our albums right now are hard to find out there. So good luck, good happy hunting. Go get them.
Billy, I'm personally putting them on my Holy Grail list. Okay?
Yes.
So that, and I got to finish out my SNFU catalog. I got like 3 records for SNFU.
Buy bands' new stuff because, as I say, bands' new stuff often becomes the collectible stuff later on.
And it's probably the easiest way to support a new band, correct? And
oh yeah, how many right now? Fleetwood Mac Rumors. What that record goes for, and what that when Fleetwood Mac Rumors goes for now at record stores. If anyone was smart for a long time, you get Fleetwood Mac Rumors for a quarter at any like thrift store. They had tons of copies. If anyone hoarded those, right now you go into any record store and go, I've got a stack of copies of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. They'll take them.
Yeah.
It's hot and it's selling. You never know. So go and buy the new stuff though. You never know. One day I'll be dead and they'll be worth a lot.
Well, I'm hoping you're going to sign the EPs we're going to get from you.
I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll get the other guys to. So I'm out here in Vancouver, and once again, the label's in Ontario.
We'll just pay for some postage. It's all good, Billy. Whatever helps you grow.
Sure, I'm in then.
Okay. Thanks for your time. Like I said, it's been a blast, and all the best success.
Keep on spinning.
Look at Better Than Fred's when we open up and come out and see us, okay? Love to have you.
We'll be on Highway 1.
Okay.
Every nation will know our name.
We're hoping. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Adios.
Thank you guys for watching this part 2. We had a lot of fun with Billy Hopeless. Keep a lookout for the code word hidden in the video for the giveaway for the record. Thanks. Like, share, and subscribe. Have fun.